I'll be talking on linking social protection to child protection, and directly go to the issue. The previous, the first speaker has gone through the background of Ethiopia. I want to go through that. I'll take you through the case for child protection and social protection, and then I'll talk about the case for specific child sensitive social protection, and then the child vulnerabilities, particularly in Ethiopia, child abuse and the legal responses, social protection interventions managed by the Ethiopian government, and then I'll talk about the Ethiopia's flagship, the PSNP, or the Productive Safety Net program you might have all heard about. Then I'll talk about the implication for child protection, UNICEF's urban cash transfer, and then I'll conclude my presentation. The case for linking child protection and social protection, it comes from the UNCRC that states, the state has, should take the legislative, administrative, social, and educational measures to protect children from all forms of physical, mental violence, abuse, neglect, and exploitation. So this is the basis for child protection, and to deal with this problem, the UNCRC states that measures should include effective procedure for the establishment of social programs to provide support for the child. And then it goes to say that the child has the right to benefit from social protection mechanisms such as social security, including social insurance. So there is a case for linkage between these two. They both have preventive, responsive, and resolving or rehabilitative aspects. Sometimes you may find emphasis being given to the responsive, like the legal procedure, and not very much on the preventive. And in some cases, the preventive aspect is emphasized more than the responsive. Social protection can help to maximize the effectiveness of the measures taken to protect children. So social protection can be made child-focused or child-sensitive. So these are two different things. It could be targeted to the child, but also to the household with a focus to the child. Child protection vulnerabilities in Ethiopia. Just to give you the very highlight of the situation, human trafficking is rampant. If you just go to Ethiopia, go to the immigration office and to the airport, you don't need figures or statistics. You can see the seriousness of the situation. Number of young girls being trafficked to the Middle East, to Sudan, Djibouti, to all directions of the country, and it's just in a vast numbers. Very young girls given ID cards where they are 14. They are given ID cards as if they are 25 years old. So the problem is very huge. And violence against children, officially corporal punishment is abolished from schools, but studies. I have taken one study where children are beaten, embarrassed, ridiculed, insulted, And these things are perpetrated by teachers, the policemen, parents as well. Ethiopia is known to have one of the most severe child marriage. This has been mentioned. I don't want to go through it again. I mean, the DHS, the recent one, puts the average figure 16 years. Child labor is a way of life for many children. About 54.8% of children aged 10 to 14 years were working. I mean, this was an ILO with Molsa 2001. Working children contribute 4 to 7% of household income, and so the need for child labor. Social protection interventions managed by Ethiopian government. You can see here that waiver for costs like health waivers, education waivers, alternative care, urban cash transfer programs, and PSNP, the public workers program, addressing households as well as children and women. The PSNSP, how does it affect children? The PSNSP, as I said earlier, is productive safety net. The productive aspect is to prevent dependency, as well as to make these transfers productive in terms of public workers, public asset building, but at the same time household assets and improving food income. But at the same time, because it is productive and labor intensive, it also contribute to child labor. Implication for child protection: children participate in strenuous physical work, could be affected. Household kit productive asset increase the productivity and the supply of child work. There is also possibility for the conceptualization of community assets to be broadened beyond the creation of environmental infrastructure. Another social protection program to mention is the UNICEF Urban Cash Transfer program, which is addressed to urban children. But the targeting differs. It is implemented in 2 regions, in Tigray and in Amhara. In one region, it targets orphan and vulnerable children, and in the other, it targets households with the highest dependency rate, and the status of the household in terms of the severity of the severity of poverty. Households are provided 1,000 birr to improve their livelihoods. That is, households which have labor and households which have no labor. Those which have no labor receive 1,000 birr direct transfer, and those with labor receive 1,000 birr for revolving fund. In Tigray, the revolving fund is livestock, while in Amhara it is the cash directly given, so that the households will reproduce and repay the fund. But there are discrepancies in targeting and the ethical issue also at the transfer. Then I'll come to the conclusion and ways of forward. It is possible to link social protection, because it is possible to link social protection with child protection, but it requires a multidisciplinary, multi-sectoral response. including the links with health, education, and welfare, and criminal justice. Going forward, it will be key to conduct studies. This is very important, particularly in the PSNP and the UNICEF cash transfer program to study the impact on child protection, because both are huge. They are trying to address a lot of households in both cases, and so it is recommended to do a comparative study. What's the effect on child protection in terms of the PSNP and in terms of the urban cash transfer for UNICEF.
Thank you very much. You finished?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.